We're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Politics Unfiltered. We're your host, Andre and JD and Sean. What's up, Sean? What's up, JD?
Hey, what's up,
What up?
people?
What
What's
up? What up?
happening?
What up? What up? What's going on,
Yes,
y'all?
three of us today. Three of us today. We're gonna be getting into what's happening with Nolan Wells. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give y'all a minute to come on in
Hmm.
here since we are live. Got a little grace for that. Let me share the stream. If you want to share the stream, go ahead and share and let them know that we're on the air. Share the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know that you are watching. Leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. So how you guys doing today?
Chilling, man. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's just hump day, baby. Just trying to make it over the
Share
hump.
the
You know
stream,
what it
ladies and
is?
gentlemen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel you, man. So today we're gonna be talking about Nolan Wells, a high school student that was he went out with some friends
Mm,
in Mississippi and didn't come back alive. So there's a lot that's going on with this. So
mm.
I do have a graphic that has some information. All right. So let me pull up that graphic. All right. So with this graphic, this is just basically a timeline of the events of everything that's happened so far. All right. So this is what we know so far. On July 4th at 12 p.m. approximately, Nolan Xavier Wells, 18, leaves the midland of Ocean Springs, Mississippi by boat with three friends for a 4th of July outing to Horn Island. Okay. So that's what happened.
All right.
Around 3 p.m., Nolan is last seen on the north end of Horn Island wearing blue swim trunks and sunglasses. Witnesses say that he was talking with a young woman. Later that day, Nolan's friends returned to the mainland without him. They went home without him, believing he had another ride back. His cell phone is separated from him and later returned to the family. So July 4th, and then late July 4th into July 5th, when Nolan never comes home, his mother reports him missing, and then a large multi-agency search begins. July 6th, the morning of July 6th, okay, 2 days after,
Mm.
a National Park Service ranger finds his body in the water near the northwest end of Horn Island. Nolan's family later confirms that it's him. So,
Mm.
first things first with this story, right? So, Nolan was the only African American amongst Caucasian friends. So, a lot of people they don't want to speak race about it. They don't want to talk about race about this thing. But it's kind of hard not to. And I've been following the
Hmm.
case. I've been following the case since it happened, and it's upsetting, because the mainstream media they're not really covering it the way that they should be covering it. We haven't heard any word from Donald Trump about this. If this was a white woman or a white boy with black friends, there will be a totally different situation going on right now. There will be different things that would have been happening. The friends would have been put into custody. We know that. But right now,
Hmm.
they're trying to play it safe. They're trying to say that they're trying to make it seem like it was just an accident. So that's what we know so far.
Okay.
Well, what's your speculation?
Um, my speculation, without putting anything out there. I mean, he's gone, right? He has
Hmm.
passed. So um we can't take that back now. My speculation is
Mhm.
from everything that's happening to. So before I say my speculation, I'm gonna tell you why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. They
All right,
have
all right.
Okay.
so the things that they've done, they've deleted their social media, the friends. One of
Mm-hmm.
the mothers is a
Oh,
judge. She's a judge. She
right,
deleted her social
right, right.
media. They had Nolan's cell phone.
What?
Yeah, the judge, she deleted her own social media. And then they had
Mm.
his cell phone. They deleted Snapchat from his phone. They deleted their own Snapchats. Um, Also, I think it was Face or Instagram, and Instagram is connected to Threads. So if you take a picture on Instagram, it automatically goes to Threads. So they took pictures on Instagram, deleted the Instagrams, but never deleted the Threads. So there were some pictures that came up, but then they went back and deleted them. For me, I say,
Mm.
why would you delete things? Why would you be deleting these things if nothing happened? If everything was cool, then
Right.
why would you be deleting these things? That's my issue. You know what I'm saying? And then this is supposed to be your friend. You left your friend. The father says that it's not in Nolan's character to do something like that, you know. So they say that he went with a girl. The girl that they spoke to said no, he just said hi and bye. So my
Oh,
speculation, yeah.
wow. Okay.
So my speculation is gonna be that that something happened off the island, that he actually did leave the island. He died off the island, and then they took his body back to the island because people were still on the island after July 4th looking for his body. And then mysteriously on July 6th, his body washes up. Now they did do a report with the autopsy. They said there's something about when you're it's called waterlogging. If you are in water too
Yeah.
long, even simple things like your hands and your body in water, it's called waterlogging. There was no
Yeah.
waterlogging in his body. His body did not blow up
Okay.
from, it was, they can't say he drowned. He did not drown. So, and because they didn't find his body when they were looking for him, but then days later, it's an island. They don't have cameras anywhere like on the island, so
Right.
they definitely could have brought
Mhm.
his body back after the fact and just said let's dump his body. So that's my speculation
Yo,
that something happened.
yo, quick question though. How do you think they got into his phone to delete his social media? Because, like, I mean, I'm going to assume he has an iPhone, and I believe that you can't even set up an iPhone without putting a lock on it of some sort. So
Facial recognition.
you think? So you think possibly maybe he was already deceased, and they used the Face ID joint to get into his phone? That's diabolical if that's the case.
You
I
know
know.
That's
what?
I'm.
crazy.
I didn't
Yeah.
think about that,
I'm
but
saying that
that
that's
makes sense.
possible. I'm saying that that's possible.
That's
Yeah,
possible.
but see, before we go before we go any further, you said a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
You stated a lot of events that happened. My question to you is: are these things that people are saying over the media and social media and the news and things like this? Are these like factual things that happen? Like, are these things factual? The fact that the social media was deleted, the fact that the judge deleted her social media as well, all these different things, like, are these things factual parts of the
Yes.
case that have been released, or are these things speculation?
So the judge herself said that she deleted it. It's on record. She said she deleted her social media and she had her children delete theirs because she's afraid for their safety. Because she doesn't want anybody to be threatening them. She doesn't want people to know where they live and all that kind of stuff because people may start sending them threats. So she doesn't want her children's faces out there in the world.
Okay, that's cool, but does she realize that the social media stuff is still accessible? Like, she's a judge, so she does realize that those things can be subpoenaed, right? Like, I'm assuming that these things could be like
It can
um
be if somebody wants to do
brought
it,
into the case.
but if they don't want to
This is what I'm
subpoena it,
saying.
then
Yeah, all they gotta do is
Right.
go
And
to
if they don't, and
Facebook.
this is what I'm saying, if they don't want to subpoena, right? If they don't want to subpoena, then then that's going to let you know they're guilt. Like, you know what I mean? Like these events that are happening that you named, to me, I'm like, what are we really talking about right now? If all of those things happen, then there's obviously some sort of conspiracy, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's obviously something going on. So I just don't understand how, what is the only thing I could think of? Here's my speculation. Y'all already know how I am with politics and all this type of stuff. So I'm just going to keep it plain. My speculation is this. I think that they're negotiating a deal for these kids so that they can either get no jail time or the least amount of jail time that they can get, or whatever it is that they're negotiating behind the scenes with the judge and her
Yeah,
friends. I think that's what's happening, to make sure that these kids don't get like the book thrown at them, because somebody's taking the fall for this. This is not going
yeah,
to go
Nah,
down as like,
you're giving too much credit, B.
you
No.
think?
Somebody don't have to take the credit for it because it happens all the time where people don't take where it just everybody just puts their hands up. I don't know, and that's it. Like, oh, it must have been an accident, and that happens all the time. So
It
somebody does
does. The
not have
things
that.
that,
I do not think that they're getting a deal cut behind the scenes. I think they're saying, yo, don't even worry about this. We're gonna clean this up and shut it
uh-huh,
all down, sweep it under the
yeah,
rug.
it's too much heat. It's too much heat right now. They're not gonna be able to do that, because that's
Never
why I think
mattered.
that they
Never
all
matters.
not. But the time of, you got to remember. Okay, so the climate of the country right now plays a part in this. This is all. It's becoming a big deal now, right? And I feel like all of this stuff. That's why I'm very careful to only harp on the racial aspect of it, because it could have been anything that happened, but the simple fact that they covered it up, or
right.
that it seems like there's a conspiracy to cover it up. At this point, it doesn't even matter if it was racially motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as
No, it doesn't.
something going on, I don't foresee. You know what I mean? So, like, the only reason that I could see, I think they want to rile up racial tension. They have been doing that in this country over the last few years, since before COVID, like right before COVID. They've been trying to rile up racial tensions in the country again, right? And I feel like that's a deeper thing, you know what I mean, that we can talk about. But what I'm saying is, all these things that are being in the news, including, and I'm talking about both sides. I'm talking about, like, the side that of the white people who are trying to act like, oh, they're pulling a race card type of thing
Uh-huh,
again. And
yeah,
also on the side of black people who are, like, gaslighting other black people to get them riled up to want to, like, do something. And I think that that's the danger in this country. And I think both sides are getting played by the side that's cashing the check. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is big. This is enterprise. You know what I mean? Like, it's enterprise. People know how to
No. It's
benefit off of these type of things.
no. It's absolutely deeper than rap for sure. But
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, and I didn't even step into. I didn't even get. I didn't even step into the whole racism part of it. Like like the fact that like
Mm-hmm.
Dre said that he was the only black there. Like sure. I think
Right.
that is a. I'm with Dre. That plays something that does play a
Apart.
part in here somewhere,
Absolutely.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But more so, I think if it was just if it was all white people, period, and if this was an accidental death, accidental by accidental, I mean these kids were doing something stupid that caused
Right.
the death of their
Exactly.
friend. I think that I still
Mm-hmm.
think that this would be I still think it would be cleaned up, swept under the rug, and that's it. Unless the white person that died had connections on a higher level. But
Right.
if not, not
Right.
me. And that's really what it boils down to. And that's why we take it back to the race thing, because in
Right.
a lot of cases we don't have the connections, on a higher level where we can fight it.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
know what's funny? And which when you say, oh, go ahead, Dre. I'm sorry.
No, you okay? Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you saying that actually hit a good point, because now that was a good point you just made, because now I'm like, okay, you're right. Where I'm talking about the this might be a time where riling up the black people might be to the benefit of the justice of this situation. I still don't necessarily agree with it. I don't agree with the gaslighting of our people because you riling them up sometimes with no direction and it gets them killed or it makes an
Totally agree.
innocent black person
Totally
get
agree.
killed because of it, right? But in this
Yep.
situation, this where this kid doesn't have a voice because I think that the racial aspect of it is the only thing that makes it a news story. You know what I'm saying? The racial aspect of it, if it wasn't for the racial aspect of it, you're right. It would have gotten swept under the rug. I think it would have gotten swept under the rug. We would have never known about it. We would have never heard about it. It would have never been in the news. But because it's a black kid and because the parents were like, hey, there's some foul play here, and they probably didn't have anyone else to reach out to. So they reached out to one of these guys who knows how to rile up, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, it becomes a news story. And because of that, maybe they'll get some justice, or at least find out what the story, what the truth is. Hopefully they'll find at least out what, find out what the truth is.
Yeah, yeah. Now they are saying that so the mother is a judge, and then there is another family member that is a city official, a state official. So
Mm-hmm.
they've already got
Right.
lawyers and all of that. They've gotten their attorneys and all of that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that kind of makes me feel like, yeah, there got to be something, had to be something that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you
That's why
delete?
I said they're going to work out the,
Like why would you delete all your social media? Like you, okay, I want to use this as an example, right?
Go
So
ahead.
us, right? So we have our group that called the crew. If we went
right.
away and one of us died, I'm sure every one of us is gonna be able to, if we anything that we can do to help, we're gonna help because we're friends. We're like family. If
Mm-hmm.
they're claiming that Nolan is like their family, then why did they delete every single thing? That's evidence, really. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
there's a show called First 48. First
Mm-hmm.
48, that show is based on getting all the evidence in the first 48 hours. Because after 48 hours, if you don't gather a certain amount of evidence, you kind of screwed, you
Makes
know?
it harder. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
48 hours have passed, and they all of the evidence that they could have used to help the case, they got rid of. That's suspect to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they
And that,
know the rules. They know what's up. They know
right.
that, like you said, in that first 48 hours, you know, if you could dump the evidence, it makes the case harder to prove. So if prosecution is after you, you don't have the gun. You can't find the gun, makes it harder to prove the murder.
Exactly.
I'm
It's just
Exactly.
wondering,
using that
I'm
as an
wondering
example.
though, right.
Huh?
I'm wondering, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer or nothing, right? But I was about to say, yeah, they knew to get rid of the evidence before it became an active investigation because they knew that if they deleted the evidence once there was an active investigation, that's tampering with evidence, which is against the law, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
they
they
beat
knew
they
the
beat
rules.
that. Get rid of it before it
But
actually
did they?
becomes investigation.
But did they though? Because now it's a conspiracy situation. Because if you deleted something if you're a judge, you very well know
Yeah, that's
that
true.
if they
Yeah,
delete
that's true.
social
That's true.
media and you know that there is going to be an active investigation, then
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that is, you know what I'm saying? Like that's still
Yeah,
sketchy.
that's
So I
that's
don't know if within the
yeah.
parameters of the law, if they can get away with it. I mean, she's a judge, so she probably does know, you know what I mean? But that little nuance. But I'm saying if you knew that there was gonna, let's forget the law for a second. Let's just think morally for a second, right? You're a judge, you know the law, you knew this was gonna be an active investigation for the simple fact of the reason that you gave for why you deleted your social media. So if you deleted your social media as a judge, right? That's strike one.
Hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
you told your kids and the friends to delete their social media. And you said the reason is because you didn't want people to attack them and all that stuff. Guess what? You can't be attacked if you don't go on social media. If I don't go on Facebook and sign in, they can't bully me. So what are we talking about right now? right? They
Yeah.
already had social media, and you mean to tell me they're never going to have it again? So that doesn't
Right.
make any sense to me. That's strike two. Strike three to me is the fact that you knew, right? You knew that by deleting that, you were, like I said before, by deleting that, you were deleting evidence that could have been
Right.
used to solve the case, like Dre just said. So even from a moral standpoint, forget beating the law. From a moral standpoint, from what she's saying, if he's like family and everything, wouldn't you want to help the case? Because I don't know who called the police or who notified who, but I'm like, y'all did some stuff before that happened. Now, if God forbid, if one of us was in that situation, right? If somebody, I'll give this example. If somebody was just, this is for the listeners who may not connect what I'm trying to say. If it was, say, us three, right? And I go in
Mhm.
and I rob let's say I go in and I go in and I decide to rob a store. Okay. And y'all don't know I'm about to rob a store, but I go in and I rob a store. Okay. And then when I leave the store, I'm like, yo, pull off, pull off. And y'all like, yo, what you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I got the register. Da, 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 da. And they're like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, what? And you like, yo, you got the bag from the store, all the stuff in here. And so then I say, y'all are like, look, man, we gotta do something about this because we already know that the cops is coming for Jay. And this dude then drove in my car. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my car washed and scrubbed out. And I'm gonna make sure that all his fingerprints and evidence that he was in the car with me is all the way gone. And then I'm gonna call the cops on this dude because I almost said the wrong word. Then I'm gonna call the cops on this dude because
You
he
can
put
say
us
what you
in a
want, man.
crazy situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call the cops on this Negro because he came and put us in a bad situation. So we're gonna turn him in, but we want to make sure that our hands are clean. Now, if the cops find that out, you
That's used against you.
told them.
That's used against you.
Yeah, if you tell them, hey, I got my car clean because I didn't want any confusion that we were a part of the robbery. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
come get these
They're not
cuffs.
going for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You're
that
all
wasn't
going
even the
down for
best
something.
example, but
Because
yes,
you're
you
nah,
are. You're not gonna get
because
away
now
scot free.
you now became an accessory to that robbery.
Yeah.
Even though you
Exactly,
tell them that even though you told them that you ain't know nothing, I didn't know this dude was going in. I thought he was going to get
exactly,
some yoo-hoo. Like what's the, you're still an
exactly,
accessory. You're
exactly.
an accessory because you're linked up with the wrong people. You don't have the right people in place. That's why you're an accessory.
And what I
They
don't
got the
understand
right
is,
people
oh,
in
go ahead.
place. They got the right people in place. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. No, you know what's funny, right? You know how many times growing up, how many times I got stopped by the detectives because some crime happened supposedly in the neighborhood and they're just questioning
And
people for an investigation and they pull me over for no apparent reason, right? In my mind. Now, their reason is because they're investigating this crime that supposedly happened, right? And the crime could have happened days before. You know what I'm saying? Not even like it just happened where they was just trying to catch the person. They happened days before and they just round, you know what I mean? So my thing is, if you're investigating, if the maybe it's just the efficiency of the NYC detectives. Maybe they just are thorough detectives. I don't know what they doing down in Mississippi. Maybe they just don't do that down in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you didn't question nobody from the island. You didn't
Right.
question. You didn't even question the friends. You didn't investigate them. You didn't question the people. If it was us on that island, and it was just a bunch of us on that island, first of all, the cops would have been there. Number one. Number two, if anything would have happened on that island, they would have been questioning the little brother of the person who just happened to be at the party. They would have questioned every single person that was at that party. It would have been a straight up investigation and people would have been in handcuffs. And then they would have asked questions. I just literally saw
yes,
something the other
yes.
day about somebody this guy who was I'm sorry, this female who got arrested, and because they had a warrant because somebody else made a mistake because she had identity theft, She told them
Yeah,
that there was identity
I
theft,
saw that. I
and it
saw
took
that.
them like what 2 or 3 years or something before they even did like bro, like come on, man.
Listen,
And so you mean to
and
tell me that nobody? This is
one thing that Drake didn't mention was, he talked about the kid's phone. They took his phone or
mhm.
whatever. They didn't turn his phone in. Like, it wasn't like they went to the parents' house and like, yo, what I'm saying, like, homeboy left his phone or whatever it is. Nah, the moms had to track his phone down
Right.
if to find it at
And
one of the friends' house.
are you serious?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She
I
used
didn't even
Life.
know that part,
Yeah, she used Life 360. It's an app that you use to keep track of your family and loved ones. So that's what she had to use to track his phone down.
To find the phone. Yeah,
Which
they didn't
which
turn the
bro.
phone.
It's
These were your
crazy,
friends, right?
yeah, friends, right? Yeah.
bro.
Come on,
He
man.
ain't got no brothers, yo, bro. Yo, I don't know.
Come on, man.
Let me not. Let me not do that. I
Come
ain't gonna
on,
do that.
man.
I'm not gonna do that. I don't.
I'm just saying,
But
yo. I'm
listen,
just saying, it's all fishy. You know what I mean? Everybody see that it's fishy, and yo, I wouldn't be surprised if they just skated away clean. Look at George Zimmerman. This dude is probably still walking the streets chilling. Like, come on. Like, I mean, the cop who
He
shot
is.
Breonna Taylor, like, the most they did was investigate, like, oh, you almost hit the neighbor. You shot somebody
right,
in here.
right, right.
Come on.
Yo,
Like,
bro,
come on,
bro.
man.
But see, this
Listen.
is what this is. Okay, so
Mhm.
message to the non African American people watching this, right? The non black people watching this show. Um,
Message.
yeah, just if you have in your heart, you feel like we're just ranting because okay, more black people on this, we're oppressed horse or whatever. We're just complaining. Here they go complaining again. Here's what I'll say to you, right? I'm not gonna say what I want to say. Lord knows, but here's what I'll say to you. Okay, just understand that if you really, really care, if you don't care, okay, that's fine. You be just, be a blind racist and be okay with that and just be okay not knowing that you are. Okay. And just keep telling yourself that you're not, if that's how you feel. If you really want to understand what someone else is going through, then stop looking at it at the lens of that because we're pro us, we're against you. Okay, that's not the case. It is with some people, definitely not the case here with the panel that you see right here. All right, but what I want you to do is to just go back, look yourself in the mirror, and ask yourself, have I ever really listened or asked or talked to someone who was in that culture and really asked them how they feel about certain things and listen to what they're telling you? Okay. Talk to somebody who you feel can have an intelligent conversation. Okay. Don't speak to somebody who's ratchet and just out there and they're extreme. Not the person at your job that you're constantly arguing with. Talk to somebody who can have a rational conversation with you. All right. And let them explain to you the best they can the experience that we have in this country. I don't care if you say you guys weren't slaves. I saw some video. This guy was like, "Oh, you guys were never slaves. You guys never. This generation never dealt with uh um uh what is it like Jim Crow things like that, right?" And I'm like, right, but we still have the residue of it. We're still dealing with it in other ways. So don't be so quick to be defensive. Just why don't you ask someone? And black people, if you're listening to this, stop expecting them to understand you. Speak calmly in a rational way so that you can fully explain to them from your vantage point what life is like. They don't understand. You can't expect them to understand. You were born in black skin. It was you had no um power over becoming or being born the race that you were born, and neither were they. All of us were babies at one point. and didn't know nothing about race. So we were taught the things that we believe. We were taught the things, whether it's been through, we were taught through experience, or we were taught by somebody saying it to us, or we were taught by the things we watch or listen to, whatever it is. We were taught a lot of these things. So if you're not ready to unravel some of that, then don't even have a conversation, because you out here making us look crazy too. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Dre.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna let you say your point, and
The
then we'll take a break.
well, I was gonna ask this back to you, Jay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm somebody not of our culture that has
Mm-hmm.
not dealt with any of what you're talking about, nor have I ever seen it. Like I've seen it, but I don't recognize it as
Mm-hmm.
what you're talking about, right? Do I have to
Right.
understand? Do I have what's my do I have an obligation to understand what you're going through? Because life is good for me. I'm good. We good over here. Well, I got you just complaining. You're complaining about old Jim Crow. You're complaining about this and that and the third. Oh, you got pulled over. Well, you shouldn't have tinted your windows. You got pulled over. You should have did
Mm-hmm.
this. You should have that. Like, am I obligated to understand what you're going through as an American?
Are you obligated to understand what I'm going through? No, you're not obligated to understand what I'm going through. No more than I'm obligated to understand what you're going through, or respect how you feel about me being here in this country, or the things that I do, or the things that I say, or the things that I watch. But obviously, you let me not say it that way. We as a people have made a very big impact in this country, whether it's uh, noticed or known, by other cultures or not. But the thing is that it continues to happen. And so, yeah, we all have different lenses that we look at life through, and no, nobody's obligated to understand anybody. But if 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 you're going to speak on it, okay, if you're going to speak on something,
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
it would
yeah.
behoove you to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have no problem if you're quiet. There are a lot of people out here that understand that they don't understand, and they're quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 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 right.
I can have an opinion about women's rights. You understand what I'm saying? I can support my wife and my daughter and my mom or my sister when it comes to women's rights. But at the same time, I'm not a woman. So when they get to talking about their menstrual cycles and what it feels like to have to go through PMS or menopause or any of those things, or have a pap smear or something like that, I should keep my mouth shut. You understand what I'm saying? I shouldn't say to them, well, why are you complaining? You can control your emotions. Why should I say that? How can I say that to them? You know what I mean? And just be like, oh,
Yeah,
stop
yeah, yeah.
crying, stop complaining. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the case, if I'm gonna have an opinion, or if I fully want to be a better, or have a better understanding of the woman than I have of a woman, then I'm gonna have to listen to that woman or two women when they speak to me, and I can ask them questions to gain better understanding. That's what I'm saying. I'm not obligated to do that, but it would make my relationship with women a lot better. You know what I mean? And it also makes me not look like an idiot when I'm speaking, because all they're saying is, oh, he's representing all men. And you see why men, and then they start generalizing. So I don't want to be a part of that as much as I can. And the first part of building a better relationship with somebody is humility first, to recognize the fact that you may not fully understand where that person is coming from. And that's what the dialogue is all about. It doesn't make them wrong because
Well,
they don't agree with you. You know what I mean? It doesn't make them wrong because they don't agree with you. They don't understand. They never got pulled. They don't know what it feels like to be afraid when a cop comes in the picture, or pulls up behind you. They're not. They don't have to be worried about their lives being lost. Even though their lives can be lost, it's just not likely. So they're not afraid of that. They
right,
don't grow up with that fear. You know what I mean? So
right.
how do I expect them to understand what we're talking about when we say, "Oh, these police"? It just looks, it looks and sounds like we're just complaining about the police. It looks and
Right.
sounds like we're just complaining because, you know what I mean. So, you know, it's the same old story. People been
Yes.
talking about this since You know what I mean? They've been talking about this since
Absolutely.
before it could be recorded, bro. So
Yeah.
this is
Exactly.
like a conversation that's why these things don't. It's sad because these things don't move us. You know, if little, you know, I hate to say these type of stereotype things, but we know what I mean when I say little Susie, right? If little Susie gets kidnapped, right, and then little Tiffany gets kidnapped, um, it's received differently. It's a tragedy if they both, if little Susie and little Tiffany both get found dead because they were kidnapped. We look at it and say, yet another tragedy, right? Their community looks at it and says, oh my God, I don't believe this happened in America.
Yes.
So the difference is we're not
Yeah.
surprised because we see it all the time. It happens to us all the time. And they cannot fathom that happening so frequently because they don't live that type of experience. So, and they're not even
Yeah.
close to that type of experience. And not all of them because, and I hate generalizing because there's a lot of I know a lot of white people that grew up in the hood. So they understand what it is. They know, at least they understand a lot more. You know what I mean? Especially if they're in your group and they're hanging out with you and they in the car when you get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
it's,
Exactly.
they understand the experience a little bit better, but it's like, you still got to give them that, just give them that grace to the fact they just really don't get it, man. Stop expecting
Yeah.
blood from a turnip. They not gonna get it. They're not gonna
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah. You're right, man. You're absolutely right. We we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from the family. There was a press conference today around 11 a.m. So they talked with the DA, the district attorney, and Attorney Ben Crump is on the case, and will explain to some people. Some people are having confusion about what Ben Crump's role is. So I'll explain all of that when we come back on the other side. More with Politics Unfiltered right here on the Undisputed Network.
Welcome to JS Dunk Productions, where music meets magic. From weddings and birthdays to corporate events and special celebrations, JS Dunk Pro delivers the perfect soundtrack for every moment. With professional DJs and incredible music selection, state-of-the-art sound equipment, and customized playlists, we keep the energy high and the dance floor moving. We don't just play music, we create unforgettable memories. Book your event today at jsdunkpro.com. JS Dunk Productions. Your event, your music, your moment.
We're back with more Politics
yeah,
Unfiltered. Hope y'all like that
yeah.
commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
My moment. Y'all
I
ready?
heard them joints good.
Yeah. I heard about it.
Feel like I need to hire
Yeah,
a
yeah.
DJ. When I'm gonna hire a DJ, I'm gonna hire JS Dunk.
Facts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I like it.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna go to the press conference real quick just to educate some people. Um, Ben Crump is a civil rights attorney, so his job is to sue, basically, to get money for his clients. He has no power for anybody to get convicted, for anybody to go to jail. Some, just in case people didn't know that, I just wanted to put that out there because some people are expecting him to get an arrest warrant and all that kind of stuff. Ben Crump doesn't do that. He's just gonna make
Right.
sure their family gets paid or compensated for their troubles.
Which is, there is no compensation for that.
Right. It's
It
not,
really
but
isn't.
it's
It really
not.
isn't.
Yeah, it really isn't. It really isn't. But that's what he
Hmm.
does. So
Okay.
yeah. All right. So we're gonna go to the press conference here, and we're gonna hear from Ben Crump and the family. All right.
All right.
Good morning. I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Harris, Justin Preston, and Cliff Jones. We have the honor of representing the family of Nolan Wells. We have present with us his mother and father, Christine and Elmore. We've just had an opportunity to meet with District Attorney Angel McElgrath and some members of her team. We had a very respectful meeting. The thing I assume some of you may know, the thing to announce, she shared with the family that there will be a grand jury that she will turn this case over to once they have collected all the information and finished their investigation. We also agreed that we will have a mutual inspection of the cell phone with our experts and their experts. Attorney Eric Hertz is helping lead the investigation team with former law enforcement experts who are going to help us with the cell phone download. So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has. We also talked about trying to make sure we dot every I and cross every T. I know that we're getting about 50 calls a day to 100 calls a day from people who were there on Horn Island, people who are familiar with individuals that were there on Horn Island. And so we continue to be steadfast in trying to get to the truth of why Nolan Wells is dead. At this time, we'll have Attorney Hertz say a few words, and then Christine and Elmore will just talk about the homegoing services and celebration for Nolan, and then we'll take a few of your questions. Attorney Eric Hertz.
Thank you. Right now, there's a lot of unanswered questions. We appreciate the district attorney meeting with us, but because of certain types of confidentiality that even the victims are not allowed to know, we did not get all the answers we want. We have an independent investigation going on that involves former law enforcement, federal agents that are going to be looking into all the different information we got. The calls are coming in and we're getting a lot of information. Some of the people that I spoke to are not talking with law enforcement here. We're going to be trying to get them to cooperate with each other because we want to make sure the narrative, which has been put out that is false, is going to be corrected. So at this point, we just ask everybody to keep calling in if you have any information and let us know. And I personally, if we validate you're a legitimate call, we'll call you and talk to you. And I thank you all for showing up today.
And now, Christine and Elmore will just share with you some details of the homegoing celebration for their son.
Hello everyone. So the homegoing celebration, the funeral will be held at Center Point Church in Ocean Springs. It is going to be, visitation will be 9 to 11 and then the funeral will start after that. The plan is for the repast because again, we want to celebrate Nolan. And he would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. And so what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him, and that'll be held at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. So we really do want to keep it for family and friends. We are going to allow media to come in as well. And lastly,
His teammates.
Oh, absolutely, teammates. We've already contacted Coach Les George because we want to make sure that those guys are there. Former teammates from high school, middle school, teams that he played against. You guys are all welcome, but of course, you know, we want to make sure that our families for sure and close friends get there. So I do want to just say for those of you, again, if you are having protests, even the day of his service, I am asking you guys to just keep it peaceful. Nolan would never want any type of violence or anything like that. He was not that kind of person. So if you guys would, again, just be peaceful. And to the community, thank you so much. Just the outpouring of love, support. We've had some local officials, Mayor Casey Vaughn from Gaucher has reached out to us. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. He has, it's almost been every day. He's been texting to check on us. Also, Jeffrey Hullum, thank you so much. He's been texting pretty much every day. Receiving a lot of stories from Nolan's teachers, which just warms my heart, his classmates, teammates. So again, for those of you who have donated to the GoFundMe, once again, I stress, if you are not financially able to, we're not begging for that money, okay? If you're not financially able to, we understand. We thank you for whatever you can give, but if you cannot, if you would, just keep us in your prayers. And to his friends, stay strong, and please just take care of your mental health, because I know this is a lot. It's a lot for us, and I know you guys are feeling some of that too. So thank you all.
Are there any questions? Yes.
Attorney Crum, Scott.
All right, so I'll pause it there. What are your thoughts on what y'all heard so far from the
Mhm.
family?
Go ahead, Jay.
I mean, it's, shout out to from what I hear, people stepped in like Colin Kaepernick,
Yeah,
um, and Tyler Perry. I think is supposed to be paying for the funeral, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah,
Um, and
Mm.
there were some other names I heard thrown around. So definitely dope. You know, I'm I know behind the scenes. I'm sure behind the scenes she's broken, but I
Mhm.
definitely
Mhm.
appreciated how she approached the mic and addressed everybody for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel I was looking at the father and I'm like, man, I can't even imagine, what
Ah,
he's feeling too, you know? Like, I know
yeah,
he was like
yeah,
proud of his son, is you know what I mean? So I don't, and it also gave me a little bit of compassion for the possible compassion for the friends, because well, compassion for the friends either way, but it seems like she was saying to them like, I know this is a lot for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what kind of contact she's had with them. And I know that, what it looks like, because we all see what it looks like, but at the same time, I got to back up and be like, yo, I hope that it's not what it looks like. I'll just say that. I really hope that it's not what it looks like. We all know what it looks like. Just hope, that it's not what it looks like. And I hope that they're able to prove that if those kids are innocent. I don't want anybody going to jail, going to prison for something that they didn't do, or getting caught up in something that one of them might have done. You know what I mean? And then they all got to go down for it, So just hope the truth comes
yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying? For the parents' sake, it really, because we could
I
sit up here
definitely
and we could talk and we could debate but I just want justice for the family, man.
no. I think the truth is going to come out. Now, whether or not if someone was guilty, to causing his death, whether or not they are punished, I I don't know. That part is up in the air. But I
Right.
think that the truth will be told. I think amongst those people, they're going to be somebody or somebody's that's going to be like, yo, look, like, nah, I really like the dude. It was messed up what you call it did or
So
whatever.
and
I
so
think that's
did.
going to go down.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I believe
Well,
that.
I guess that's what the cops hoping for.
Yeah, it's just sad because when we keep talking about why they deleted all of this evidence, why did they delete it? It just keeps bringing me back to. I'm not sure if you guys heard of this case that happened a couple years ago. Shanquilla Robinson, African American woman, she went to Mexico
Mm.
with her friends, a group of friends,
Oh
and
Mm.
yeah.
I was going to
Hmm.
mention that story. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, and
Hmm.
they were caught on video recording planning to to beat her down, to jump her,
Yep.
and
The jumper. Yep.
they actually did it, and then she ended up dead. And these were supposed to be so-called friends, you know. So it just makes me think like did something like that may have happened with Nolan. Now we know Nolan.
Right.
Everything I'm saying is speculation, but we know Nolan is a
Mm.
star athlete. He's the black guy that's the star athlete amongst these white folk. There could have been jealousy involved. I told somebody at work today, he kept saying, well, but they were friends. They were friends. Listen, when people are jealous of you, they'll pretend to be your friend. People that
Right.
the people closest to
Right.
you are the
That
most
part.
jealous of you. And especially you got family
Hmm.
members that I'm sure are jealous of you. But if they're not your family and then they're of another race, yeah, they can fake the funk. They can pretend to be your friend all day for years. They can come to your house. They
Right.
can they could be so close to you that that you just let your guard down until this one day they're ready. And they're ready to do what they got to do.
Hmm.
So I'm just saying, it's sad that this is our reality, but this is our reality. And it's sad, but this is the reality of being African American in America. And this is the same thing I talk about with America. This is America, but this still is happening. Yeah, we say, oh, America is afforded us these opportunities. This is good that this is happening in America because we have the judicial system. But with the judicial system, they can still manipulate it to do it the way to do what they want. So it's like you have a judicial system, whereas if this may have happened in Russia, it's like whatever. He would just be another boy dead,
Right.
and it wouldn't be nothing. Nobody would give a damn. So this is the difference. It's America, but it's still the same old, same old. So that's my thoughts.
See, you know what it is, man? I think when people say, "Oh, America," everybody has a different idea of what that means. So I think that when someone says, "Yeah, America," you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they think that everybody else feels about it the way they feel about it, and that's not the case. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's America, and you say, oh, well, this is America and it's still happening. America, this was happening before it was even the United States of America. You know what I mean? It was happening when it was just colonies here. It was happening before that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it never stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like America was founded on this type of stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's wherever you have, and it's not just America. Anywhere you have
It's
people,
and that's Yep.
any
It
place that you
it, it
have
is
people.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just people. I
Hmm.
think people in general, as human beings, just people in general are
Hmm.
just discriminatory, right? Like so whether somebody is slim,
Yep.
somebody's thick, whether somebody, whatever it is, what I'm saying, whether somebody's got less money, than the next person or whatever, like people in general is gonna find a way to discriminate, and like I mean, heck,
Right.
in amongst communities or cultures themselves, they discriminate against each other, for whatever reason. Like we just find a way, just as human beings. And I think that at the end of it all,
Hmm.
when it's all said and done, I think that's the biggest thing is just, if we can just get people to respect each other as another human, just
Yeah.
as as another
Right.
person, then we might get somewhere. But that's it
Right.
doesn't matter. Like we see it, like as we were speaking before the break, just us in our community, America means a little something different than say somebody in the Asian community that's maybe not long into America in their generations. It may mean something different to everyone. Like like you said, we've all had our different experiences, but then you go outside of America, and
Hmm.
you're still going to experience some sort of discrimination. What whatever it
Hmm.
is, you get at that point, you might be discriminated against because you're American. right? You
You're
know,
American.
so
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
there's always gonna be
Yep.
something. So when we hear stories like this, it's hard to totally rule out. You know, it's hard to totally rule out that. And
Yeah.
and we see that that these kids are in an advantage state, in America, right? We got a judge for a
Right.
mom. We
Right.
got, we have people that are, on levels in America that, can get you things and take you places and get you out of, situations. I mean, heck, I'm
Hmm.
sure, Boosie wished that he was connected the way he wouldn't be dealing with this lawsuit right now, trying to figure out why he didn't get his pardon from the president. So there's always something.
Right. Right.
I'm all over the place.
Nah, you
Word,
good.
man. Give Boosie his pardon, man.
Listen,
Give Boosie his pardon.
Nah, but nah.
Donald Trump gonna pardon who he want to pardon. Okay, he's gonna pardon who he wants to pardon because the
Yeah.
the people that stormed the Capitol, I'm not sure if you know this, but he has a slush fund for them, which means they're
Oh yeah.
they're getting reparations for the people
Oh
that
yeah.
the criminals are getting
Yeah. Oh
reparations,
yeah.
but African Americans can't get reparations for slavery. Make it make sense.
Wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You mean, what do you mean they getting reparations?
Basically because they were in prison, they're felons, right? They're felons because the Capitol is a federal building. So because they damaged it, they hurt people. They're all whoever got arrested.
Right.
They were convicted of felonies. Donald
But
Trump
they
has
were treated
Hmm.
Donald
unjustly.
yeah Donald Trump pardoned all of them. He pardoned them all, and now he's giving them
Hmm.
reparations. He's paying them for their
Yeah.
pain and
But
suffering.
this is what I want to know. What black person in America is surprised at that?
I'm not surprised. It's crazy though, but
You
I'm
know what I'm
not
saying?
surprised.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll wait. You know what I mean? Like I think that, and I think that, I think that if something like that, if he were to pardon, if he were to say pardon, you know, um, a group of us that did something like that, like say people go and they riot or whatever, and they get arrested, and he pardons all of them, I think that all of America would be shocked. I think that if say President Obama, for example, was to pardon, a group of guys or people that did something like that, then they would probably want to impeach him for it. You know what I'm saying? But we're not surprised. I mean, didn't Donald Trump pardon some black people too? Then he pardoned some people
Mhm.
to get
Yeah. No,
on, but you know what I'm
he's
saying? So
pardoned
yeah, pardoned
he's
a few.
pardoned a lot of people, but the rumor, the speculation is, they're that a lot of these people are paying for it, right? So that
Hmm.
because with Trump, a lot of everything could pretty much revolves around money. So
Hmm.
they hooked him up. He hooked them up. That's that.
Right. And that's what it means to have politics, and to know people, like you said, but like these kids do. You know what I mean? This is what America is run on, and that's my point. I'm glad you said it. This is what America runs on. If you have power, you have connections, you have people, and this is why people strive for this type of stuff. And it's not just America. Like I said, this is the world system. It's how the world is
Yep.
run. And
Yep.
anybody who's like naive to that, who doesn't know that, then you just don't know. And that's why you're confused. And that's why it's easy for people to rile you up, because you think that it's fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're expecting it to be fair. If you know what
Yeah.
type of time it is, you know what I mean? It's like if you go to, like, I don't know how many, who can relate, but whatever. If you ever play sports, you know what I'm saying? And okay, where you going to play, and the refs, you already know what kind of game it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when those elbows come, you know what I'm saying, or you get fouled, you already tell yourself, I already know that I'm gonna shoot through the foul. I already know I'm gonna get knocked down when I go in for this layup, and I'm gonna make it anyway. That's your determination, and this is the determination that black people have in this country. That's why our stance is the way it is. And this is just for people who made to help you understand a little bit why our stance is the way that it is. Because it's like we're going to a game where we have rival referees who love the team, the home team, and you're the away team. And you already know what kind of game it's going to be, but you walk in there and you say, "Oh, you could walk in there and say, oh man, we got these refs because we playing them, they gonna cheat and we gonna lose because they gonna cheat." Or we could go in there and say, I don't care if they try to cheat, I'm still winning this game.
Yep.
They gonna have to
Yep.
dang near kill me for me to
Right.
not win this game. I'm not losing. And that's the type
Right.
of determination that you see in Jordan's eyes. That's the type of determination you see in Kobe's eyes and in Mike Tyson's eyes. This is the type of
That's
energy that you see. And they don't like that type of energy when we bring that type of energy. But you have, this is what you have. You have those of us who say, oh, it's not fair. They're going to cheat. They cheated again. See, they cheated again. See, they cheated again. Oh, he's elbowing me. And the refs don't care about you. Or you can say, yo, even though you're elbowing me, I'm going to win this game. But what you cannot do, non-black people, is look at those people who have that determination, who are blessed enough to have that determination in this country, and take the elbows and take all the fouls and take all the bad calls and all of that stuff and still persevere and win the game, and look at it and say, and look at all the other people, because this person happens to be exceptional to make it through all the odds, to look at that at another black person who doesn't have that fortitude and look at them and say, see, they did it, so everything's okay.
right.
You guys are just
Right.
complaining. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
No, don't do that. Don't ignore the elbows. Don't ignore the fact that the refs are cheating. Don't ignore the bad calls. Don't ignore all of that. You can't ignore all
Right.
that. Why don't you just praise the people who are able to, and respect the people who are able to work and make it through all of that, but also understand that the ones who couldn't make it through all of that, it ain't their fault they couldn't make it through it. Maybe they didn't
Right.
have the same, fortitude, and we're all different people. So, you know what I mean? Everybody's not that lucky. Nolan is not that lucky. He wasn't that blessed. And maybe he was just used to show the rest of America what is going on. But you only gonna see it if your eyes is open.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly it. And and a lot of people
So,
walk around willfully with their eyes closed because things are good
yeah.
in their world, and they don't want to mess that up. They feel like if they start to pay more attention, it might mess things up for them. So they just keep their eyes forward, and that's it. But shout out. But
Exactly.
having said that, though, shout out to the non-Black American advocates for Black Americans,
That's a fact.
right? Because they are out
Salute.
there. I know, salute. I know a few, and it means a lot. It means a lot when you can come out of your bubble, when you haven't, you don't know what it's like to deal with the police randomly, to have a bad experience or whatever. And you don't know that, but you sympathize with the people that do. And not only do you do that, you speak up when you can speak up.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the most important thing. And I think we need more of those. We need a name for them. I don't want to say white ambassadors or cultural ambassadors, but you know what? Maybe cultural ambassadors, because we need cultural ambassadors in every other culture who can articulate to the other people in their culture what's going
Yeah,
on
listen, you
in
know what?
ours,
You
so
know
that
what
we
it's
can
like?
all come together.
It's like
Mm,
remember you had to go through, and I know everybody can't relate to this, but you guys know what I'm
mm.
talking about. When back in the day, when you had to go to somebody's house or you was hanging with your man, and he lived in a sketchy neighborhood, right?
Oh, that's a fact.
I ain't gonna call no spots out, right? Shout out to the Bronx, shout out to
I will 184.
Bushwick and all
Shout out to
that.
Huck.
But you know what I'm saying? But you needed an escort to get from point A to
Yeah,
point B through
facts.
there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's like everybody is chilling out there, and and it's whatever, but you don't feel safe, and for a good reason you don't feel safe. But
Right.
you got an ambassador. You got that ambassador that can walk you through and get you to the building and
Yup.
get you out the building when it's
Yup.
time, and that's what and that's what we need. We need those people to walk us through
Yeah.
parts of
That's a
America.
fact.
We, you know what I mean? So,
That's a
yeah.
fact.
All right. So I have a question for y'all.
Word.
I was thinking about this earlier. I was listening to a
Mhm.
podcast. I've been listening to podcasts all day at work, but they were talking about Charlie
Mhm.
Kirk. You know Charlie Kirk that got killed, right? So
Mhm.
Charlie Kirk was a known racist. Okay, he said things about black people that should not be said. Right? He was killed by a
Okay.
white man. He was killed by a white man. They tried to say this guy that killed him was radicalized and all of this kind of stuff. And all I could think about is like, what is a white man killing another white man? What is that really? Like when you really think about that, what is that? Charlie Kirk's a racist talking about black folk,
Mhm.
Chinese folk, Asian folk,
Yep.
anybody but his own people. But another white man is
Mhm.
supposed to be, I guess, defending the honor of the people he's talking about, but he's really not. So what is that really?
Right.
That to me is just, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me at times, even with the assassination attempt, on Donald Trump, all of these things. It's like it's and I'm only bringing this stuff up because it all ties in, right? Donald
Uh-huh.
Trump, 3 times they tried to kill this guy. 3 times. If I was D.L. Hughley, I guess I'd make a joke about it. But it's like, it's like, what kind of assassin are you? What kind of
I'm trying.
you missed these 3 shots? Come on now,
I'm trying
like
to keep my mouth shut about it. Okay.
you can say
You
it.
can.
I'm just saying, 3 times they tried to kill this guy and they missed 3 times in the ear.
Uh,
If you could graze his ear, you could hit him in the head or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, Donald Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer. For those of you that don't know, I'm a wrestling fan, so I know these things. Donald, yes, the president of the United States is a WWE Hall of Famer. My thought is when he got down after the shots fired and he got down, he either nicked his ear or put a little blood thing on it. I don't because he after that they had the Republican National Convention. He got to the National Convention with a thing over his ear,
that little
with
bandage. Yeah.
yeah the bandage, and then the white folk there put tampons on their ears so they I guess could be in
Yeah.
solidarity or whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah.
a couple days, weeks later, is no bandage. If you got shot in the ear, I'm thinking that thing gonna be covered for at least a month, 2 months, maybe.
First of all, if I got shot in the ear, I ain't coming outside for 2 months until. Listen, see, I try not to talk about it. Y'all not gonna bait me into talking about this. Listen, man,
Hey, this
I'll put
I
it
podcast is
like
mean,
unfiltered.
this.
Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. This is unfiltered.
My, I'll say it this way. My sincere prayers go out to every single American who believes that man got that there was an assassination attempt on the president. My prayers go out to all of you who believe that was an assassination attempt. I was watching it live on television when it happened, and I didn't even need to see a replay to know what that was. So, at the end of the day, more power to you all. I'm not arguing this point because I don't argue with. It's just not worth the argument to me. I know what the, you know what I'm saying. Like it doesn't take a blind person to see. I don't know what I just can't believe anybody. But that was the worst acting. My G, that
crazy.
they should be replaying that on like Tubi or Hulu or one of them channels, bro. And shout out to
It's
Tubi because
crazy.
I
It's
like
crazy.
Tubi, but that should that right there that was like
Nah,
that was Tubi, bro.
Nah, it was crazy. It was crazy
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
But
I never seen the
you know,
slow moving Secret Service people in my life. That's the laziest, slowest reaction I ever seen. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
it was
I'm
good
back to
ratings.
my
It was
world.
good ratings. That's what we're here for, right? It was good ratings. It was. I mean, it got the people talking. It was provocative, and it worked. It worked. Like Dre said, at the, like Dre said at the next rally, everybody was, they was bandaged up. You know what I'm saying? It was. I mean, he was probably out there signing them. I don't know. I mean, it worked for him. It worked for him.
And then
Oh
and then
gosh.
and then you saw after he got shot, the Secret Service and everybody's trying to go on him, right? And I wish I had the picture right now. He's put his fist up in the air, like
Yeah. Yep.
putting his
Yep.
fist
Yep.
up in the air,
Yep.
and then they get this iconic picture of him with the American flag behind him with his fist in the air
Yeah.
after getting shot.
It was a good look, baby. It was a
Right.
good look, baby. Come on. Why you hating?
Nah.
Why you hating?
Shout
That
out
was
to
good.
shout out to the cameraman. Shout out to the cameraman that got that shot. Shout out to him.
That was a
Because
good
when bullets
eye.
is
See that?
flying, yeah, that's a fact. He must have been a war photographer or something. Because the shots didn't even scare him at all. And mind you, to
Yeah.
me, shout out to all the people that was in the stands behind him. Because
Listen,
if I hear shots going off and I see that they're coming in my direction, I'm not going like this to see who did it.
there was a lady. Listen, you know
Not
what?
that brave, sorry.
No, listen, I'm about to find the video while we're on here. There was a lady when the shots was happening. After the shots, not before, as soon as the shots happen,
Right.
everybody ducking. She takes her phone and she's trying to get a picture. Who does that? That's how you know this was
Right.
rehearsed. They had a rehearsal for
Not
that.
only
It's the
yes, they did, and
Nah, somebody died
not only
though.
that. Okay, okay,
Somebody died.
Well,
huh?
I'll
Somebody
say,
died.
I'll say this.
And
Okay,
Well, somebody, you know what? I'm gonna say somebody died just because I haven't heard about no funeral. Even if they did die, they gotta
here's
sacrifice somebody. They probably said, listen, somebody's gonna have to
okay. Let's
die,
stop the
but
nonsense.
we're gonna compensate the family, but somebody gonna have to make it real. That's how I
That's
feel.
exactly what happened. They came to somebody in the room and said, "Do you want to serve your country?" And we know what happens after that. So at the end of the day, because here's my thing, right? The person who got shot, who they said got shot in the crowd.
Yeah.
So please
yeah.
explain.
And he was protecting his family.
Please explain. Huh?
He was supposed to be protecting his family. So then now he's a
Yeah,
hero
but
because he was protecting his family.
right,
Yeah,
but
he was a
here's
good
what I'm
American.
saying. If nobody knew, if nobody knew where the shots came from, right? How was he protecting his family? That's one. For two, this has to be the biggest idiot of an assassin that I've ever seen in my life because I mean, maybe it was a warning shot. Maybe they told Trump to chill and he ain't listen. So he was like he was so good that he nicked him in the ear and as a warning shot. But what I'm trying to figure out is if where the guy got shot, right? With a guy that died and God bless his family. Because somebody actually died. If somebody really really
Somebody
died,
died.
then that is a shame, right? But let's stop acting like the government wouldn't sacrifice somebody to make their point. Like, please, let's not act like why would they kill an innocent person? Come on, bro. Like, let's
Nah,
please
nah, nah,
stop
nah.
with that
Okay, all
because
right,
they're not
okay,
gonna take
yeah.
it back to
That is
9/11.
all right. That is true. They would do that. I'm thinking. Here's what I was thinking about it. I don't even know how we got all the way here with this, but that's cool.
That
The
was me. Sorry.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it was. I'm thinking that it was an actual attempt. I'm thinking that it was an actual attempt, right? I don't think that he got hit. I think the dude behind him got hit. Because how many shots rang off? Like what, two?
The dude behind him didn't get hit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That nobody behind him got hit. That would make logical sense. Somebody in front of him in the crowd got hit. Nobody behind
It
him
was a
got hit
word?
because you could see clearly in the video, bro. You could see clearly in the video the shots going off. The guy who's behind him is so I'm trying not to use, I'm not trying to call nobody no names. But what I'm saying, the guy behind him was standing up, not even knowing to duck. You feel me? He was going like this, and then he started going like that. Everybody behind him in the bleachers was going like this, like they
I
were
can
trying to
believe
find the
that
person
though.
and
I
pointing in the
listen.
crowd.
Nah, no. I could believe that. And then Drake talk about the chick with the phone. I could believe that because that they're not from an area where they hear shots ring off randomly, right? Like if
It
they
don't
hear shots
matter.
ring off, they're
You a
probably at the
human,
gun range.
bro.
They're not.
You a
It's
human
not.
being.
I don't think
Right.
it's. I don't think it's as instinctive with everyone like you're saying. Like I mean, we look at scary movies. Granted, it's a movie, but most
Uh huh.
movies are based on real life. The scary movies is always the white people that's going to see what the noise is. Like it's not.
Okay.
It's not instinctive to everybody.
Fam, but you're not gonna
Here
tell
we
me when
go.
shots is going off. Yeah. Let's see this, please.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Look at the guy in the hat. Look at him. He looked like he just finished playing basketball and he's tired.
Run that back. Run that
He's
back. Run that.
he's directly behind him,
Run that
directly
back, Trey.
behind him, bro.
Who's the cat? Who's the cat that got hit?
It's a little bit old, that chart's a
Nobody.
couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Oh no, he was bucking. There was some shots.
There was some shots, but who? They was all there. They said somebody in the crowd down here got killed.
Yeah, how did only one person get hit?
Now hold on. Now watch this. Watch this. None of them are running. Nobody there is running.
Hold, when you're ready, on you.
And you see this guy you see this guy waving the camera? And you see how the Secret Service has their guns? That's not even they're
Now,
moving
oh, okay, and
dumb
then
Yeah,
and,
slow,
okay.
bro.
and then the people on the left. If this is a real shooting, even if I'm the photographer, okay, I get it, right? You're a photographer. You feel like you're getting the action, but still, I'm out of there. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna die to get no picture.
My
I'm
guy.
sorry.
Nobody there ran. Nobody there ran out of
Yeah,
that
okay.
arena. Are you mean to tell me that there was not a stampede if he went down? Forget shots. Forget just shots. Somebody got hit. You know what I'm saying? So look how nonchalant they're moving.
No, I give you that. I no, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Nah, yeah. Let me get my
And
shoes.
then they're gonna stand him back up.
So he can get
Look,
shot
now,
again.
pause it, Dre, pause it. Now, ask yourself this question. If they're still covering him, they're covering him as if they still did not catch the shooter yet. Because if they caught the shooter or they saw the shooter at this point, then they would have had him down until the shooter was subdued and then they would have got him out of there. Why are they letting him stand up? And why is this chick holding up her arms as if she's blocking him? Like her arm is going to stop a bullet from going through his head. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Then they let him throw up the black fist. Okay. Which is a symbol of black power. He holds that up before they escort him slowly into his vehicle. And then he does it again. All those Secret Service people should be fired, first of all. Second of all these people are standing up cheering as if he survived it, like it's over or something.
He's
Where do they do
still
that at? Like, I don't
he's
understand how this was like,
he's still putting his fist up.
look,
If I got
Yeah.
shot, if I got shot in the ear, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. Is like, yeah, I got shot.
Listen. All right. Listen.
that
All
looked like
right.
a
I did want to
drill. That
mention
looked
that
like a
too.
drill, bro.
I did. I did want
Huh?
to mention that too. Like the older you get, the more it takes, the more time it takes to heal. Like so you can get a paper cut at 23, it's gone by the end of the week, right? It never even looked like
Mm-hmm.
nothing was there, right? But you get a paper
Mm-hmm.
cut at 63, it might be a lifetime wound at that point. Like that's it. Like it's always gonna
Okay.
be there at that point. You almost 80 years old. You had a bullet graze your ear, and a week later is all good. No marks.
And And yo, man, and you that tough, bro? You been
But
in
but at
you
this
that tough? Like,
but I
come
mean
on,
how? How? I mean, they said, he's from Queens. What you want?
yo, man. Listen, don't. There's a lot. It's a lot of suckers that's from Queens too. It's a lot of suckers from Queens, bro. I don't want to start. I don't want to start naming them. But it's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah,
I
yo,
don't.
no,
You're not gonna
it's a
tell.
lot
You're not gonna
wrong.
tell,
It's a
bro.
lot wrong with it because
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
nah,
Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
just
I'm
saying it's
sorry,
a
bro.
lot wrong
Go
with
ahead.
it because if shots is still ringing off, you know what I mean? Like Secret Service do not look like. I mean, I don't know how long it took them to get to the guy, but I don't remember that part. At the time when this happened, I think there was some mention of how long it took for them to get to the shooter. But once they have the shooter secured, then they in the earpiece like, yo, all right, we got him. It was one guy, we got the gun, he's clear, or whatever.
Right.
So I can understand why
Right.
Secret Service would be moving slowly to get him out there if he's clear.
And if you look at the people though, they look too relaxed for there just been
This is what
gunshots.
I'm
It's
saying.
like they got their cell phones out, they just chilling. It's like they're watching a movie. Now if this was really rehearsed, then they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're like, okay, that looks good. They did a good job. That's what it looks
I feel
like.
like
But
this was a demonstration. I think they told these people. I think this is what it looks like now that I'm looking at it again after all this time. It feels like they told all these people this is a demonstration. This is what would happen if there was an assassination attempt. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, and they like it looks like a play. It almost looks like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just trying to do like a demonstration. You know what I mean?
no,
Because
you
at
know
the
what?
end of the day, and
I
maybe they took it and just ran with it or something.
I would give you I give you that, I it was staged. But I do not believe, if it was staged, I do not believe that this whole crowd was in on it. Because you can't even get that many people in on something. Usually, when you're staging something like that, you are going to
Mm-hmm.
tell the main people that are involved, and then to get the best reaction from the surrounding people, you don't tell them. So that way you get the most honest reaction from them. So I don't, and not to
Yeah.
mention all of those people, somebody's going to tell them. Somebody is going to tell. Somebody is going to come out accidentally or whatever. They're going to put on their social media. Yeah, it was a little fake. They said they gave us all $20. Like I don't think that the crowd knew that it was fake.
Well, you know what? I'll give you that, and part of that
I think
reason
they're
is,
just
but
idiots.
that makes me afraid. That makes me afraid. If this
Yeah,
crowd did
they're
not
just
know that this was
idiots.
staged,
They're
that
just
makes me
idiots. Yeah.
afraid. Yeah, it makes me afraid. Now, mind you, maybe that's what he chose, but you just said hit something on the head, right? You was like, if you're not, you want the best reaction, you don't tell them. But this is my point, right? I just literally saw something today. Y'all, I don't know if y'all remember the scene, and I don't know who's listening, if y'all even saw Boys in the Hood. But if you remember that scene from Boys in the Hood where they was all out on Crenshaw and it was mad people, and you know what I'm saying? That's when
Oh
what's the
yeah,
name
yeah,
got bumped. And then afterwards the dude started shooting and everybody ducked and like ran off. That scene with a gunshot first went off and
yep,
everybody ducked at the same
yep,
time. I just saw
yep,
something today with Ice Cube in an interview when he was like that John Singleton didn't tell none of them. He said he kept saying, yeah, when I have a bull, he had a bullhorn. He was like, when I yell bang bang bang, everybody y'all just duck as if it was gunshots. And Ice Cube said he kept saying it like, yeah, okay, like a little time ago about it, he'd say it again, like, yeah, when I yell bang bang, and Ice Cube was like, all right, man, yell bang bang so we could like get it done.
yeah,
And then when the scene happened and they hit action, somebody really pulled out a real AK and I guess shot it in the air. So all the people, all the extras, all the actors, none of them knew. All they heard was gunshots. Mind you, they're in the middle of LA in the 90s when it was like really popping out there.
yeah,
So they thought that the
yeah,
gunshot,
yeah.
they all thought the gunshots was real. So when you watch that scene, you hear or you hear the
It was
shots
a
go off,
it was a
you
genuine
see a
reaction.
real reaction. Everybody
Yeah,
left. Ice Cube was like,
yeah,
in my mind, he said, the movie's over. You know what I'm saying? Like he almost hit somebody trying to pull off from out of there. So you can see the real
Yeah,
reaction because everybody was running. So this right here, come on, bro.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
ridiculous, bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come
Nah,
on,
nah.
man.
I think there. I think it was a crowd full of idiots, but I don't think they all knew. But I will give you like it
That
probably Secret Service probably knew, Trump knew, all of that. Cameraman
right,
probably knew. I give you all of that.
right, right. Yeah, they rehearsed that because there's no way he caught that shot with the Amer- I mean, how staged can you get, man? I'm like, it scares me. It scares me like the world we live in, this country we live in, when people are that gullible. That is what scares me.
Oh, people are super gullible. And actually, here's another one for you. Maybe that dude that did die, maybe he wasn't supposed to. Maybe the shooter messed up. Maybe the shots were supposed to go like what I'm saying over everybody's head or whatever, and he
Right.
messed up and accidentally shot the dude.
Or he was told, shoot this guy too.
Yo,
Make it
that's
look
crazy.
real. Make it look real and shoot this guy too. And I know that sounds crazy
That's
because
crazy.
we have morals. You know what I mean? It's
That's
crazy because
crazy.
we have morals. But
Yeah, true.
and
True, true.
a lot of people in America, even though we say, oh, they stupid for believing this or whatever, but they actually have morals. So it's hard for them to believe that the government would do this. It's hard for them to believe that a person would treat another person this way. It's hard for them to fathom that. And if they do fathom it, they fathom it in small doses, like, oh, this is just a one-off situation. This is not like an everyday thing because they cannot take that. Their brains cannot take that kind of information. It can't process it, bro. Because then they have to rethink everything else they were taught. And most people do not want to go down a rabbit hole of thought. They just want to stay in their box of comfort and say, leave me alone. Those people are over there. We're over here. Because and if you're really real, and I know we got to wrap up, so I'm gonna actually just say this as my final thought. If we really real with ourselves, we do the same thing. Because when I saw the movie Hotel Rwanda, I was like, I couldn't, like, I was messed up for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that's
Yeah.
going on was
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
in South Africa and all that. Like I'm like, yo, man, when you
yeah.
see that stuff is actually happening during a time that you were alive, you know what I'm saying? And these things are still happening all over the world. But it's not in our brains. I'm a Christian, and Christians are getting killed in other places for saying that they're Christian. But it's hard for me to
Yeah.
fathom that. If I think about that too long, my brain starts overloading because I'm not used to that. So we gotta give some people, like, I'm not saying like don't tell them or stop the fight or give them a pass for ignorance, but I'm saying be a little bit more merciful to them because they don't really know. They really don't know. They really don't know. And that's why people come to this country and they look at us, or look at people in this country, not just black people, but they look at people in this country period and say, you guys are not taking advantage of the opportunities you have. You know why? Because the opportunities that we do have are jaded because we were born into them. So we have a certain privilege as well, being born in America. And I think that that's what some white people are trying to say when they say, oh, you guys are complaining, but look at the opportunities you have. But you can't be the one to say that because
Right.
your privileges, you don't deal with the elbows, you don't deal with the fouls, you don't deal with the bad calls. But when it comes to us going to another country and seeing what those countries, some of these African nations, and what they have to deal with, we're privileged to them. We don't live in, we might have grew up in the ghetto or the hood or whatever you want to call it, but we didn't grow up in no shanty town. You know what I'm saying? We didn't grow up under the conditions that people in Kingston grow up in. Some people. So yeah, like we all have to acknowledge our privilege to some degree, but let's not play ourselves and act like just because there's privilege that there's not like trouble that we have to deal with too. You know what I'm saying? So that's my
Absolutely.
final thought.
Nah, nah, absolutely. And I'll just say this real quick and pass it over to Dre. But I just feel like, at the end of it all, when we talk about, this the story that's going on now, um, you know, if you can be an ambassador an ambassador to someone, you should be.
Hmm.
Like, like it does, you don't have to experience what they experience to, just to kind of help people out. Whether you see a kid getting, punked at the bus stop, or, you were, somebody's partner, and your partner is picking on somebody, like, yo,
Hmm.
just be an ambassador. Like, like, just stop letting stuff go down. Like, we got a whole group of kids here that we're talking about, and everybody's shutting up. Everybody's is shutting down their social media and all of that. When you have a whole family that's grieving over something that might have been an accident. You know what I'm saying? And, like,
Hmm.
just all I'm saying is just, look out for your fellow man, because that's all we are. Is your fellow man.
Facts. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll just
Hmm.
we're gonna stay up to date with everything. Mondays are gonna be the funeral for Nolan Wells, so I will be streaming that while it's happening live on this channel. So look out for that, just to show our support, and then we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on in this ongoing case. So, and pray,
No
for
doubt.
those of you that if you can't give, if you can give, there is a GoFundMe. I'll put the link to the GoFundMe if you want to support the family financially. And if you don't have it, they understand. The mother said that, and she said that earlier. She's not looking for the money. If you have it, thank God. If you don't, then just pray for the family, because it could be any one of us.
Hmm.
So, that's my whole thing. It could be any one of us. So
Hmm.
we can't have selective outrage when it's only something that happens to us. That happens to
Yeah.
me,
Right.
if it
Yeah.
only happens to my child, if it happens to your child, I should
Right.
be just as upset, you know? So,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Facts. Yep. Yep.
all
Cool.
right. All right. Well, thanks for this conversation. I enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time on Politics
Sir.
Unfiltered.
Peace.